This video is going to talk about organelles that are involved in capturing or releasing energy, and this is going to be a pretty short video only because we're going to talk more in depth about these organelles when we get to our cellular energy unit. Associated with capturing energy are going to be chloroplasts. And these are obviously things that only occur in plants. Chloroplasts are going to be like solar power plants. They capture energy from the sun and convert it into basically food or sugars, which we should all know are carbohydrates. Getting a little small there. Carbohydrates, one of our four major macromolecules. And they do this via photosynthesis. We're going to have a whole unit where we talk about photosynthesis. It uses chlorophyll, which is a pigment, and it is green. And so, of course, you should relate chloroplasts, chlorophyll, sort of similarly sounding words to photosynthesis and plants. Interestingly, chloroplasts have two membranes on the outside and many folded little membranes on the inside that are stacks that look like pancakes. And we'll talk more about what those are when we get to that unit. But this is sort of an interesting feature of chloroplasts. Mitochondria, on the other hand, they're involved in releasing energy. They're sort of like the power plants of the cell. They convert chemical energy of sugars into ATP. Interestingly, this has two membranes also. So both chloroplasts and mitochondria have two membranes, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. The outer membrane is round, and the inner membrane is folded. So here, this darker color is the outer membrane, and this lighter folded one is the inner membrane. And we'll talk more about the structure of that when we get to the energy unit. And this inner membrane is folded to increase surface area. That is another one of those examples of how structure is related to function. It has that folded look, and it is folded to increase surface area for a reason. Now, interestingly, you inherit your mitochondria only from your mother, and mitochondria have their own DNA, and so your mitochondrial DNA, unless something sort of went a different way, and sometimes you can get mitochondria from your father, but frequently they're only inherited from your mom. So you have your mother's mitochondrial DNA, which are her mother's and her mother's before her. So for example, I know I have my maternal grandmother's DNA inside of me. And so all boys and girls that are children have their mother's DNA and her mother's before her. Now, interestingly, chloroplasts also have their own DNA, and their DNA is circular, unlike our DNA in our nuclei, which is linear, which is sort of interesting. And then you get to this endosymbiotic theory, which sort of describes how we think mitochondria and chloroplasts came to be about, and I'll make a whole nother video about that. The other thing that you need to know about mitochondria is that a lot of people will assume, okay, chloroplasts are in plants, therefore mitochondria are only in animals. That's not true. Mitochondria occur in plants and animals. Think about it. Chloroplasts are making the food, and mitochondria is eating that food. If you are a farmer, you can grow your own food. You still need to eat it, or else you won't actually reap any of the benefits of making your own food. So plant cells will have chloroplasts and mitochondria. Animals will only have mitochondria.